evening. Many thanks for joining us. This is the news at 7 on NTA International, and we're live in Abuja. I'm Ruth Aguela. Let's bring the headlines. President Buhari sets up Coronavirus Impact Assessment Committee. Minister of Health Dr. Osage Hanire confirms another case of coronavirus in Nigeria, says situation under control.
Emir of Kano is in total disrespect to lawful instructions from the office of the state governor and other local authorities.
Kano State government announces Aminu Adobayaro as new Emir of Kano, following the dethronement of Muhammadu Sanusi II. Let's begin with issues surrounding COVID-19. Worried over the impact of the coronavirus disease on the nation's economy, President Muhammadu Buhari has constituted a 5-man committee to quickly assess the situation and advise the federal government on the next line of action. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the committee is chaired by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed.
The committee, which has 2 days within which to complete its assignment, comprises the Minister of State, Budget and National Planning, Clement Agba, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mele Kolokari. Briefing newsmen after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari, Chairman of the committee and Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed said discussions centered on the dwindling oil fortune as a result of the global pandemic and the best way forward for Nigeria.
Our mandate is to make a very quick assessment of the impact of this coronavirus on the economy, especially as it affects the crude oil price. But it is very clear that we will have to revisit the crude oil benchmark price that we have of $57 per barrel. We'll have to revisit it and lower the price. Where it will be lowered to is the subject of the work of this committee. What the impact will be on that is that there will be reduced revenues to the budget, and it will mean cutting the size of the budget. The quantum of the cut is what we are supposed to assess as a committee.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, said apart from the coronavirus disease, the volatility in the oil market is also attributable to the disagreement between Saudi Arabia and the Russian Federation, which he said Nigeria is not in a position to intervene.
We believe that in the coming days, when all of us begin to see the effect of the reduction of prices, OPEC and OPEC Plus might need to meet again and reconsider our position. Meanwhile, we expect also a lot of discussions going on at the level of Saudi Arabia and Russia, but as Nigeria, we are not in a position to begin to engage members on this matter.
The committee is to submit its report to the President on or before Wednesday morning, after which the far-reaching measures to be taken by the federal government will be made public. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In a related development, President Muhammadu Buhari has established a presidential task force for the control of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19. This action is in preparation for the unlikely but probable major outbreak of the disease in the country, which will require a multi-sectoral intergovernmental approach as advised by the World Health Organization, similar to that adopted for the HIV epidemic in the last 2 decades. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said the start and finish task group, which will be expected to deliver within a maximum period of 6 months. The task force comprises Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Chairman, Dr. Sani Aliyu, National Coordinator. Others are Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, Minister of Interior, Minister of Aviation, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Minister of Education, Minister of Information and Culture, Minister of Environment, Director General State Services, Director General Nigeria Center for Disease Control, and WHO Country Representative. Another case of coronavirus has been confirmed by the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Henry. The new case is one of the contacts of the index case under isolation. The minister disclosed this during the minister's press briefing at the University Benin Teaching Hospital. Obey Otobo Appraisia reports.
The minister says although the 60 persons under isolation in Lagos and Osun States have remained free of the COVID-19 symptoms, the Federal Ministry of Health, in line with best practices, tested all those in isolation, and coronavirus was detected in one of them.
It is the first time this sequencing of this virus has been performed in Africa. The result has been shared with international authorities, and the Director General of the World Health Organization has extended congratulations to Nigerian scientists for this achievement.
The minister also disclosed that a group of Nigerian scientists has been able to match the strain of the virus from the index case in Nigeria with the virus circulating in Italy and Wuhan, China.
It is my duty, therefore, to announce a new case of coronavirus disease in Nigeria. And the newly confirmed case is an Osun State contact of the index case, but it has no significant clinical symptoms. This brings the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria today. The newly confirmed case in Nigeria is not a new importation, but a contact of the index case who has since been in isolation and was under clinical follow-up. He presently still does not have any clinical symptoms and is comfortable, and he is being sent to the infectious disease hospital in Lagos.
Immediately after the briefing, the minister inspected and inaugurated some projects in the hospital. In Benin, Obehi Otobo Appraisia, NTA News.
Still on COVID-19, following the recent outbreak of COVID-19 in Cameroon and the reported case in Lagos State, the Cross River State government has stepped up surveillance and intensified information dissemination in the state. To achieve this, the government is collaborating with the Vehicle Inspection Officers Unit on an enlightenment to maintain personal hygiene by operators of commercial tricycles in Calabar South local government area. Achibong Basi will tell us more.
Taking proactive measures to curtail the spread of COVID-19 is the reason for this sensitization campaign brought to the doorsteps of operators of the transport sector, who drivers of this initiative see are important in the state's economic development. The operators were enlightened on the importance of regular hand washing and the use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers, while urging them to be conscious of their health as they interact with people. The Vehicle Inspection Officer, Paul Bepe, speaks on the choice of keke riders to kickstart the campaign.
If the operators are safe, the passengers will probably be safe and customers will be safe. We also have a date for the commercial drivers. We also have a date for the truck drivers. So we are just starting with the keke because they are my first point of call.
The Cross River State government says it is determined to ensure information on COVID-19 outbreak and the standard best practices in staying healthy is taken seriously.
We have to step up our surveillance, we have to step up our information dissemination across the state just to keep Cross Riverians free. Remember, we've got the Cameroon at this end, and there's one flight that can take you from Lagos into Cross River.
Free hand sanitizers were also distributed to the commercial tricycle operators in Calabar. Achibong Basi, NTA News.
Away from health issues, Kano State government has announced Aminu Adoboyaro, the Emir of Bichi and the son of the late Emir Adoboyaro, as the new Kano Emir, following the dethronement of Muhammadu Sanusi II. This was officially announced in the presence of the Kano Emirate, Kingmaker and all the stakeholders at Anti-Chamber Government House.
Council at its sitting of today, the 9th day of March 2020, with regards to the deposition of the former Emir, in my capacity as the Secretary to the State Government, I have been directed by His Excellency the Executive Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje OFR, based on the powers conferred on him by the provision of Section 11, subsection 1 of the Kano State Emirate Council Law 2019, that is equivalent to Hijrah 1441, to announce the appointment of Alhaji Amina Ado Bayero, the former Emir of Bichi Emirate, as the new Emir of Kano State, of Kano Emirate.
And earlier, Kano State government has announced the removal of Muhammadu Sanusi II as Emir of Kano. The decision was taken during an extraordinary meeting of the State Executive Council presided over by Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Abdullahi Mustafa has the report.
Muhammadu Sanusi II ascended the throne as 14th Fulani Emir of Kano on June 8, 2014, owing to the death of 13th ruler Alhaji Ado Bayero. In the last 1 year, however, the relationship between the monarch and the state government has been sour due to certain misunderstandings. The tussle seems to come to an end following the State Executive Council's decision to approve his immediate dethronement.
The Emir of Kano is in total disrespect to lawful instructions from the office of the state governor and the other local authorities, including his persistent refusal to attend official meetings and programs organized by the government without any lawful justification, which amounts to total insubordination.
The council enjoined the people of Kano to remain calm and go about their normal businesses. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
In a related development, Kano State House of Assembly was in turmoil during the Monday's plenary over the presentation of an ad hoc committee report investigating the dethroned Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, on alleged violation of traditions, culture and religious norms. This followed a petition filed by Kano State Center for Promotion of Education and Culture and one Mohammed Yamma of Gwale local government area. Samira Hamisu Shira has that report.
It all started when Deputy Speaker Hamisu Ibrahim Chidari wanted to present a report on the investigation of the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II. However, members of the opposition PDP said the report should be presented on Wednesday, not on Monday. And then there was a division among the members between the PDP and the APC, and members of the PDP wanted to snatch the maize, but the sergeant at arms took it to the office.
After reconvening, the House did not make mention of the report again, but continued with presentation of motions by various legislators. However, with the news of dethronement of Emir of Kano Muhammadu Sanusi II, Majority Leader Hamisu Ibrahim Dashi, while briefing journalists, said the 28 APC legislators in the State House of Assembly are in full support of the governor's decision. From the Kano State House of Assembly, Samira Hamisu Shira, NTA News.
And following the removal of the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, by Kano State Executive Council, the mood at the palace was tensed. Elizabeth Yila Lamido reports that the main entrance to the palace was barricaded.
This is the main entrance to the Emir's Palace of the Kano Emirate, which is heavily guarded by security operatives since the announcement of the removal by the state government. All the royal guards have been withdrawn and no one is allowed into the palace. The royal flag behind me signifies the presence of the Emir in the palace. The flag is put up by 8 a.m. in the morning and put down by 6 p.m.
Allah muka dogara, Allah shi yake komai, shi yake ba da mulki a lokacin da yaso, yake kwacewa a lokacin da yaso.
The atmosphere here is very tense as people are refusing to talk. However, crowd is beginning to gather at the gate. In Kano, Elizabeth Yila Lamido, NTA News.
Many thanks, Elizabeth. We take a pause because we want to take messages. We'll be back. Many thanks for staying with us. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has again called on members of the Electronic Media Content Owners Association of Nigeria to support the ongoing reforms in the broadcast industry in Nigeria. The minister made the call at a meeting with the members in Lagos. Anthony Forsen reports.
Members of the Electronic Media Content Owners Association of Nigeria are radio, television and online content producers who showcase contents like drama, soap series, entertainment, musical programs, talk shows, sports and magazine programs. Their meeting with the Information and Culture Minister is to throw their weight behind the ongoing reforms in the broadcast industry. It is in line with this mission that the Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed was quick to place on their doorsteps the need for them to double their efforts in a bid to catch up with modernity.
The sheer scope of contents available to us with a lot of hard work and research, you can get first-class contents out of the rich history of our country. And it does not matter where it is. We're a people of culture, we're a people of history. And we don't need to dig too far before we get it. I also want to challenge you as a people to break the bound of the conventional something. Yes, it's very comfortable for you to emulate and imitate and compete. When you are original and you go to the roots, there are so many stories out there. You know, whether you want to make them into series or you want to make them into documentaries or into plays.
Of particular interest, the minister said, content segmentation to suit particular audience is of immense importance.
I think we can concentrate on children programming. We need more and more of children programming. We need more of women programming because they are the ones that watch the contents most.
From the broadcast regulator to the content owners, they all applauded the minister's resilience in reforming the broadcast space, acknowledging that players in the industry will be better for it in the end. In Lagos, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
In other news, the Academic Staff Union of Universities has declared 2 weeks warning strike to protest the non-payment of salaries of lecturers not enrolled in the federal government's integrated personnel and payroll information system, among other grievances. National President of the union, Biodun Ogunyemi, declared this at a National Executive Council meeting in Enugu. ASU says it took the decision to compel government to implement all outstanding issues in the memoranda of understanding between the union and government from 2009 to 2019. The issues at stake include alleged imposition of the IPPIS payment system, which resulted in non-payment of February 2020 salaries of lecturers not enrolled in the system, poor funding, non-remittance of third-party, deduction of salaries of members, among others. The Buhari Media Organization has lashed out at the presiding bishop of Living Faith Church Worldwide, also known as Winners Chapel, Bishop David Oyedepo, for tagging President Muhammadu Buhari's administration as the worst in the history of Nigeria. In a statement in Abuja, the group described the clergyman's position as a jaundiced and fraudulent view, fueled by his lingering bitterness over Nigeria's rejection of his preferred candidate at the 2019 presidential election. The group also took exception to the clergyman's choice of words on Nigeria, aside from saying that President Buhari administration's days are numbered, adding that this was not the first time the bishop will allow his emotions to override his sense of duty on the pulpit. The group called on the clergyman to repent, transform his mind and resort to non-acrabic sermons from the pulpit targeted at a perceived political opponent. Let's look at road matters. The gap of infrastructural needs has steadily been breached by a gradual process of repairs, renewal and construction of major highways and schools. This brings the intervention of Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to construct 2 kilometers of roads at Federal Polytechnic Ede in Osun State to create conducive environment for quality education. Let's hear from Timitokbe or Debumi.
Minister of Works and Housing Raji Fashola, who was represented, said provision of good road network is central to the agenda of the present administration. The federal government will continue to build and develop infrastructure in federal institutions across the country. He said as the federal government continue to breathe life into every nook and cranny of the country to ensure proper construction, rehabilitation and reconstructions of roads.
Actually, in Osun State, the federal government is handling about 6 major projects in Osun State, running to billions of naira. We put stone base before we put asphalt of 50 mm. This road, no matter the type of load you carry on this road, you will be able to sustain it.
Representative of the rector of the institution, Isiaka Adelabu, appreciated the federal government for timely completion of the road project.
The road, as you are looking at it, was not motorable prior to the intervention by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. But after the intervention, we have started using the road.
This place wasn't good at all. It was bad, but now I think it's better.
The 2-kilometer road in the South Campus was completed within 5 months. From Ede in Osun State, Temitope Odebumi, NTA News.
In other news, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma says his government will continue to take necessary steps towards ensuring adequate security of lives and property. He made this known during his visit to Ohaji, Egbema local government area, where one of his vehicles was allegedly attacked. Mariam Vincent Oko has details.
The visit of Governor Hope Uzodinma to Mmahu in Ohaji Egbema local government area of Imo State is to commiserate with the community over the accident involving a truck belonging to an oil firm operating in the area which claimed 3 lives. While the governor was, however, addressing the community leaders and the bereaved families, some aggrieved youths mobilized, alleging the involvement of security operatives in shielding the oil firm from being brought to justice and insisted on the governor addressing them. The governor, who was already in an indoor meeting with the community leaders while the incident played out, condemned the method used by the oil firm in trucking crude, promising to tackle the issues resulting in the killing to forestall future occurrence.
The only thing that is very disappointing is why our relatives are crying, because they are grieved for the loss, sudden loss, unplanned loss of their loved ones. Some people are making violent noise that will not yield to any good result. All I want us to know, let us do things as a government that will make this oil be a blessing instead of a punishment.
He further appealed to youths of the area to be calm as their welfare remains a priority. In Owerri, Marian Vincent Oko, NTA News.
And next